For some, this is probably their one and only opportunity in their lifetime to compete in this tournament, where majority of these players are in their final year of high school, the third year in this context. So for them, this is their only opportunity to show off nationwide what they can do. And I think for those who still aspire to be professional soccer players but have been outside the J-League academies, this is their one and only opportunity to impress the scouts and show that they are worth taking a shot as they attempt to build professional careers in their adolescent years. The All Japan High School Soccer Tournament is an annual event held in the winter months of December and January. Played across the Greater Tokyo area, 48 teams nationwide compete to determine which school emerges as the best high school of the year. And since its inception in 1917, the recent 103rd edition of the event has witnessed a record attendance for the final, where 58,347 saw Mebashi Ikue won their second championship in its history after they defeated their opponents on penalties following a 1-1 stalemate at the end of extra time. And why is the All Japan High School Soccer Tournament such a big deal in the country? And is there an equivalent in Southeast Asia where this is concerned? Tanyaja takes a look at how the All Japan High School Soccer Tournament has evolved to become one of the most watched high school events nationwide and has attracted global attention in recent years, and explores a similar but smaller parallel in Southeast Asia in the Singapore's National School Games A Division final, which involves, you can say, the equivalent of the high school teams played in this part of the world. To qualify for the All Japan High School Soccer Tournament, the path taken is quite tough, for there are only 48 spots available for 48 spots are available to the teams who aspire to reach the pinnacle of high school football competition in Japan. And for those 48 teams to come through, 46 of them will come through as prefectural champions, with the other 2 spots coming from the Tokyo area. So each team that has reached this far to be involved in the winter months of the final, which spans in less than 2 weeks and is a straight knockout tournament format, they have to beat all their other rivals in their respective prefectures or Tokyo district to go through to the finals. And every year we'll see different new faces coming through, making their first appearances in the competition. And more notably, the All Japan High School Soccer Tournament has seen future Japan internationals making their mark in this tournament. Among them notably include 1998 and 2006 World Cup first choice goalkeeper Yoshikazu Kawaguchi, who won this tournament in 1993. Shuzuke Nakamura, who featured in this tournament as runners-up in 1996. Koji Nakata, 1997 runners-up. Yoshito Okubo, once dubbed Asia's most promising striker, he won this tournament in the year 2000. Yuya Osako, he finished runners-up in the 2008 edition. And more recent names who have competed in this All Japan High School Soccer Tournament include the Celtic duo of Ryo Hatate and Daiser Maeda and Takashi Inui. And this popularity has never waned despite the emergence of J-League youth age group academies who compete with the high schools these days for the best young Japanese talent. And although the emergence of the J-League academies have slightly diluted the quality of the competition, but for many of those involved in the finals in particular, this marks the pinnacle of their youth football careers. Not all of them who are playing in the All Japan High School Soccer Tournament finals in Tokyo aspire to be professionals. For some, this is probably their one and only opportunity in their lifetime to compete in this tournament, where majority of these players are in their final year of high school, the third year in this context. So for them, this is their only opportunity to show off nationwide what they can do. And I think for those who still aspire to be professional soccer players but had been outside the J-League academies, this is their one and only opportunity to impress the scouts and show that they are worth taking a shot as they attempt to build professional careers in their adolescent years. And for them, actually, you would say that it's similar to the more famous high school baseball tournament, which is held in the summer months annually in Japan. The football version of the high school annual event has seen several players emerge to contribute tremendously to the domestic J-League, and for more than a handful of players, a stepping stone, a platform to eventually excel overseas, like the way Shusuke Nakamura and the Celtic duo, whom I've mentioned earlier, have done. And during this period where the finals are held, most of all the games are actually broadcast for free online, with the semi-finals and finals being broadcast nationally on their national television channel. And actually in recent years, the massive crowds that show up to watch the semi-finals and the final has been more than tremendous. It even attracted curious foreign audiences who were in Japan and wanted to see how the atmosphere is like. So it's not just merely for the high schools to send all their students to the stadiums to cheer on their teams, but also for curious adults and foreigners who want to see what the atmosphere in a high school football tournament is like. And the thing is, why it remains popular to this day is because of its long tradition. Even before the establishment of the J-League in 1993, the All Japan High School Soccer Tournament has been regarded as the annual event to watch, where thousands would turn up to watch their respective schools compete, to give their all, and will their team on to victory at various stages of the finals. And even as we look at the modern context of the high school soccer tournament, we can see that several elite schools that are renowned for producing football talents, they have a structure that is similar to that of a professional club, where they have a head coach who could either be an JFA S license holder or a school teacher who holds a similar or equivalent qualification. Then you have a few assistant coaches, a nutritionist, a physiotherapist, a goalkeeper coach, and other backroom staff to make the setup run as professionally as possible. for these high schools who can invest in all this, is no mean feat, because high schools usually, they are meant to be the stepping stone to prepare the Japanese students for their eventual university entrance exams, where their fate for probably the first half of their adult life will be reliant on whether they can be admitted to the more prestigious Waseda or Keio universities or other universities nationwide thereafter. Still, these football high schools, they devote tremendous amount of resources in their quest, in their will to help those teams try to reach successive high school football finals. Notably, Amori Yameda, who has to date, including the most recent 103rd edition, they have reached a successive 28 finals appearance. Finals are not grand final, the main tournament appearances, after winning their prefecture tournament for a consecutive number of times, and established themselves as the most dominant high school team in Japan this century. So, and looking beyond Japan, we have a similar equivalent in Southeast Asia. You can say it's Singapore's National School Games, where the A Division final is always a well-attended event, where schools from the two finalist institutions or junior colleges, yes, the Singaporean version of high school, where they come together, they pack the stands to the rafters in Jalan Besar Stadium, or fill up a sizable chunk at the National Stadium, whether it's in the present sports, especially at the old National Stadium, although yes, the venue has not been used for an A Division final yet, but in the past at the old National Stadium, a sizable portion of the area has been packed to the rafters. And because the high schools or the junior colleges that feature in the main final of the boys A Division final, which is open to junior colleges and an institution that provides a three-year A-level program instead of the typical 2-year A-level program that is seen nationwide in the junior colleges. In just those 2 years, these players have, like in their Japanese counterparts, the grand final as the main showpiece, in which they show to the nation, they show to their friends, to their fellow schoolmates, what they're capable of playing before they move on to national service, they move on to university, and eventually to their respective careers. And notably in Singapore, the dominant schools involved in the National School Games A Division Boys Final are Victoria Junior College, who have been the most dominant school at A Division levels in this century, and they have their closest challengers, Meridian Junior College, which is now called Meridian Tampines Junior College. And then you have also Raffles Institution Junior College, which was previously known as Raffles Junior College, and St. Andrews Junior College. These four schools I mentioned, they have a rich football history, a rich sporting pedigree, and a vibrant sporting culture, where they bring this from the school to their football ground, especially when these schools compete in the National School Games. When it comes to the A Division Boys Final, the grandstand at Jalan Besar Stadium will always be packed to the rafters. You can see at least 4,000 sitting down there, cheering and willing their teams up in the final. Whatever the standard of play is, the passion you can see from the students who are 17 or 18 years old to wheel their schoolmates on the pitch is inspiring to see. And considering that Singapore is actually a very small place, is a little red dot where you don't have a province, you do not have a state, you don't even have a prefecture. But when you have schools that have excellent football cultures from within, they are able to contribute tremendously to aid the atmosphere that favors comparably in the final, comparably to the knockout rounds, especially the semi-finals and finals of the All Japan High School Soccer Tournament. And what about the rest of Southeast Asia? I mean, for Dayanja fans who are looking at this video, I mean, outside of Singapore, I mean, you can tell us whether you think this All Japan High School Soccer Tournament, their format, the way they have produced players over the years, has also been applicable to their respective countries, especially in Thailand, Malaysia, or Indonesia, Vietnam. Yeah, and even in the other countries in the region. I think Daniel will look forward to hear more from them.